Hey, everybody, welcome to this emergency episode. We wanted to report on some rather interesting news that came out of the mouse yesterday. At approximately 6:30 p.m. Pacific time, it was reported that the water wells in the city of Anaheim, underground water wells that I had no idea even existed,
There's water wells?
there's water wells, they lost pressure. And so, therefore, the entire Disneyland resort area, from what I've seen,
Had no
lost
water.
pressure, had no water. So they closed every restroom across the entire park, Disney, downtown Disney. I mostly saw videos of Disneyland, didn't see any in
Mhm.
DCA, but I would assume DCA was impacted
I
as
would
well.
assume they're both affected. Yeah.
But yeah, no restrooms at during peak crowd.
Ooh, wasn't that one of the problems that Disney had when he was
Disney on opening
when they
day.
were creating? Yeah, when they were opening day on Disney.
Yeah, but this is a little bit differently. I think the biggest thing that I saw online was like, one, why didn't Disney shut down?
Yeah,
That's means for like shut down
maybe
operations.
they don't know how to refund people.
I don't know that they'd be able to refund 50,000 people.
Yeah. Well, so I read up on what their emergency plans are when they lose water. And the first thing is they start cascading, closing the restrooms down first because without water, you can't safely run the restrooms. Um, if it's a prolonged water problem, they start closing down the restaurants. Um,
Mm.
and at that point, then the closing the entire park is after that. But I assume that when they get the notification from the Anaheim Water Department that there's not enough pressure coming from the wells, so we're shutting the water off, that there's a certain amount of time that it takes to get the water pressure back because they start pumping directly from the river, and of course that needs to be not sanitized,
Reinitiated.
but yeah, that well needs to be conditioned or whatever they do to the water out there, filtrated or whatever. So it may only be a couple hours of outage, but
Yeah, but when you have 50,000 people at the theme park, that's
yeah,
a lot
and
of
how
people.
many people you know wait to use a restroom to towards the last minute? Are you really going an hour before you really need to go?
No,
Or, or my favorite one, that many people wait to use the restroom when they hear the restrooms are getting
I
closed.
know, right? That's when all of a sudden you now need to go to the restroom.
Oh
It's
man.
just it's a horrible thing, and you would think that Disney would have a contingency plan here. 70 years of magic.
Yeah, you would think that they would have a water tower or something that could replace, the missing water pressure. Surprised they don't. I know in Florida they're responsible for everything because until recently they owned the entire county that Disney World is in. Um, but I'm sure they're still maintaining the water infrastructure. Um,
So what
but
happens to the water rights? Do they close this one down too?
Well, that's less of a problem, right?
No, I'm asking because if we're closing restrooms, shouldn't they also have an issue with the water rights?
I would
Well,
assume
I'm
that, yeah,
assuming
the water
those
rights.
are more of a closed circuit that they only top them off every so often, but I don't think
Yeah,
the
and I'm
water
assuming, yeah,
leaves.
those have their own internal pumps that recirculate water, right? I don't
Hmm.
think they're just
They
demanding
have
it.
to add to it because of evaporation and stuff like that over time.
Yeah, but
But
it's minimal.
yeah,
Hmm.
I think they probably could go a day or two before they needed to top off pirates or something.
What they need to do is be able to leverage the water from Pirates and
And
Small World
and
and
that
to
Oh,
pump
so drain rivers of America to be able to
flush toilets
keep
of
passing
America.
something. Yeah. So
yeah. I think
but
using toilets is more important.
but initially, so that's the news, right? So that's kind of the news of what happened. It's unclear to me how long it took to
yeah, I didn't
restore.
hear that they got an all clear at all. It's just
I
that
would, yeah, I would assume the fact that they didn't close the part down, it was probably out for 30 minutes, maybe an hour, maybe 2 hours
yeah,
tops.
maybe like that. I heard that when this happens, it takes about 2 hours for them to start pumping more water out of the river to recover from the wells.
But the $1 million question, the reason why we're here is in
Hmm.
that 2 hours, where do you go?
Yeah.
What do you do?
You go in the river of America.
If
Did
you
you
if
see?
you absolutely have to pee and then all they're closing them faster than you can run to each restroom. What do? What's the emergency plan?
So I think you take this is foreshadowing. I don't know if you guys saw this, but today's Wednesday, July 29th. I think for Thursday or Friday of last week, a cast member jumped into the rivers of America
I saw that. Yeah. Why did they do that?
just to jump in.
They jumped in.
The cast member jumped in. So I
I'm
would
assuming he
assume
got fired because of that. But
I would assume so too, but maybe he was just starting a trend because that's the murkiest, nastiest water you can
It-
go into. So
It
that's
is nasty.
yeah,
Oh.
it does not look like a clean river.
I don't think the water's even
So
circulating.
you're suggesting that as an alternative to a restroom to jump into the river and relieve yourself there,
in the water, yeah.
and then get a lifetime Disney band.
Well, I don't.
Um,
So this is another interesting thing, right? Like this, I feel the onus is on Disney. Should you get banned for a Disney fail to have a good disaster recovery plan?
Well, it depends on what your workaround was. Was your workaround to, just to pee in a cup somewhere? They're not letting you into the restroom, so there's no private place to do this. You'd kind of have to try to find,
But what are
a
the most
private
private
corner.
areas in Disney then?
The island.
The island. Everybody swarms the
Yeah,
island.
if you can wait long enough to get out to the island on one of the rafts,
There's a lot of
Yeah.
little creenies and holes in there.
I would have
And then-
said I would have if I was in that situation. Again, I think Disney needs to make exceptions here, right? Because you shouldn't be banning people when you don't have a good disaster recovery plan. But
Yeah.
I would have gone out to the train track, right? The train track is so full of forests.
yeah, but you're not supposed to be walking off path. And
You
walking
shouldn't, but they also should have working restrooms.
That's true. There's a number of technologies that doesn't require water for a restroom.
Yeah, look at
I
the
used to
space
work
they-
at a DoD facility, and all the urinals were non-water urinals, and that worked fine. It was just gravity, and I have no idea how they actually work, but they were proud of it, and there was placards all over the place saying how this saves so much water. So you would think Disney would at least allow people to pee in this situation, which would solve the majority of the problem, right?
But not all the problems.
So 2 questions. One, did the outage happen in all Anaheim?
It happened in a region of Anaheim.
Yeah,
Okay,
it
that
was
means
bigger
the
than
whole
just.
resort of everything in Disney.
So I'm thinking
including
at hotels.
hotels, restaurant, everything.
I didn't
Yes,
see
you
anything.
can't run out to McDonald's on Harbor and use their restroom because this is. I'm assuming that
Yeah,
was
it was-
also shut
It
down.
was very similar to when my parents lost power.
Oh yeah, the
Right,
power was
the
lower.
power just dropped. Like one day, like
it was there, but it was
like at
low.
20% power.
Ooh, that hurts things. Yeah.
It just dimmed.
It was dim. And question number 2, legally, an establishment, how long can they not provide this kind of like restroom facilities?
Or at least have a backup plan, right?
Yeah, they should be able to have like a little parade vehicle towing 100 porta potties out of some storage and just parking them along, the parade route or something.
Yeah.
And say, this is what we have for now because the city can't provide us water.
Right, because you would think that Disney. I mean, it's funny you say that because I'm almost inclined to think that the restroom inside of Tom Sawyer's Island is more off grid.
No
I would
idea.
think. I've been in there and it felt like a porta potty to me.
All right.
I've never
It felt
been.
like a glorious porta potty to me.
I've never been inside of it.
Like yeah. So it just, I feel like Disney, as a preparation, might want to have a couple of options.
Yeah, you would think that they'd already think of this. They've been open for many decades.
Especially after Lena's opening statement, right? This happened 70 years ago, 71 years ago.
Yeah, when the day one of the park, they
Yeah.
didn't have working restrooms.
So you have 71 years to anticipate a problem. Like, what is it? Tony Stark, I don't know if you've seen it, but every Iron Man mark that he's built solves a problem that he's encountered with some villain in the
previous
past.
one, yeah.
So you would have thought 71 years was enough time for Disney to go, we've seen this before.
What is
Oh,
the code?
do you want to drop our buddy's blog that I mentioned earlier in Slack?
Sure.
So Rodney just came out with a blog post today that talks about kind of the same thing. Did you read it?
I saw the headline, but it's around the disaster recovery, right? Or
Yeah, it's around disaster recovery in the Waffle House. and how
Mhm.
because the Waffle House has been very forward thinking about how to stay in business during disasters. Um, that the FEMA unofficially has a Waffle House emergency
Procedure.
Loading
procedure,
call.
or no, what do you call that when they have a red, yellow, green alert system? So there's a scale that they use
Scale, yeah.
that's based off of Waffle House and how many Waffle Houses are still operating and what do they do when they you know so they lose power, they don't have a generator. Well, anything that's refrigerated they can't sell, but the things that aren't refrigerated they can sell. Like they use electricity, but they didn't lose propane. Well, they can still cook on the grill, so let's sell eggs, bacon, and hash browns. Um, but we can't sell milkshakes anymore because
Yeah.
that's so Disney should have the same type of thing. And it's funny that Disney would have to learn from Waffle House, but you
Yeah,
know
you just think like
if you have to
Disney.
if you lose water pressure, the way Disney says it when I looked it up, they don't close all the bathrooms at the same time. They close enough so the remaining ones can work on whatever water pressure they have. If the water pressure drips even lower, then they close all of them. But they didn't say if they offer another solution like bringing
They
out porta
so the
potties.
reports that I saw was that out of all the restrooms, they did drop to minimal capacity.
Yeah,
So there were some restrooms open.
yeah,
You were
yeah.
that's
That's
the
what
thing
they
we're gonna
said.
have to add to our app. Open and available restrooms.
That's what we should add to the app is the you know in a disaster what's still open. Um, best place to wait out a hurricane in Disney World. Yeah.
I know, right? Just how to survive at Disney. But I still think 71 years of Disney, because they just celebrated their 71st birthday 2 weeks ago. Disney should have a completely off grid, totally like the whole world can
Yeah.
can run havoc, and we
They
are.
could lose electrical and water for 2 days without having to close the park,
Yeah.
or
Yeah.
something like that. Short of putting a nuclear plant on Disney property, there's really only so many days that they can operate without municipal
Even
power.
just to at least close the day out, right? Like I'm not saying
Yeah,
they
because
need
they
to.
they can put solar panels. They have so many rooftops.
Well, it's not the number of solar panels that matter; it's the capacity of the batteries. So they could definitely do the solar. That's a thing, but they would need to dedicate probably an entire building with for just the like the Tesla walls or something.
The house
Or
of tomorrow,
I know, right?
nobody
They
uses
got an
it.
empty building
It's an
that
empty, or the Aladdin building that nobody
there's
Oh,
plenty
uses.
of
that's true.
empty buildings in
They,
GTA.
they should be able to power all of Anaheim with enough storage in the Aladdin building.
You know, right?
Right?
What is it? Elon Musk one time said that like he had an interesting statistic. I don't have it off the top of my head, but he said that if we were to build like using his solar batteries and like his like the whole solar city thing that he had,
Mhm.
it was like 100 square miles is all you needed to power like the U.S.
Yeah,
It's crazy. So
yeah.
yeah, I would
It's
say
more of a distribution problem at that point.
Yeah.
Like
yeah,
yeah,
but you have so many buildings, so many like you could put these around if you really
oh,
wanted to.
you definitely could, but the problem is if like all your solar panels are in Nevada, um, how are
Yeah,
you
but
getting
then
that
on
power in
Disney
New York
property,
State?
like on the walls of every building, you can just have them on there.
Yeah,
There's enough
you just
buildings and
basically somehow have every public building or every private house, subsidize them a Tesla wall, and
that's another
then
thing, right? Disney could pay for all the surrounding communities to be powering them
yeah,
as a backup.
yeah, they could basically subsidize all the solar panels in the neighborhood to
But then I would also have like a water pressurization system
yeah.
that's locally like kind of like a power
That
generator.
that's harder to do, but it's achievable with water towers. That's how my city has got water pressure. We have one water tower that's probably about 5 miles from me that you can see from all over the area.
But why
They
not?
just
I
need to
mean,
put one of those.
but they could put it in Hollywood studios, in the Hollywood area. It's no different than the
Oh,
Hollywood
you mean over
water
in
towers.
DCA in the Hollywood? Yeah,
Yeah, I
That-
mean,
that- I think they've got air. They could put it in behind one of the parking lots.
Mm-hmm.
You
Yeah,
know,
but like they have a water tower in the Hollywood building in Hollywood.
oh yeah, but that's not a real water tower, right?
I
That's
know,
a
but it's not like it would look out of place.
oh, I see what you mean. Yeah,
You know, like they can afford or they can
it
get
would
away with
definitely
having
have
a
to
water.
be bigger, but they could build something that would solve a 2 hour water pressure problem.
I bet you they could put one in Toontown too. Toontown
Yeah,
will fit in a water tower.
yeah, they got the Walt Disney Studios has a water tower.
Yeah,
So yeah, just put one of those in DCA, and it's only a backup.
yeah, exactly. Yeah, you fill it once and it just sits there.
And then
I'm,
they can
I'm
even
sure
put
there's some maintenance or something. But
some shrubberies on it.
yeah, shrubberies with ears. Yeah. So
Warner
yeah, I
Brothers
don't
got one.
see why they. Yeah,
I
I
think
don't see why they don't have a backup water plan because you would think that all the water rides that they have, um, there's
yeah,
and the ponds and the river
it
that
almost
they
seems though like it went down for just minutes though, because you would think that if it went down for more than a few minutes, that people would have like lost it.
yeah.
It would have been chaotic.
Either that, or you would have had a bunch of naked people running around.
Well, I definitely think you'd have a bunch of guys that go out behind a building or something, or into a bush or something, and take care of that,
Maybe use
or people just
the jungle cruise.
relieving themselves in Gatorade bottles and just tossing them in the trash.
All right, but we did need to wrap up the if okay to wrap up the episode. If we did need an emergency place, one option is the train tracks that were beyond the train. I think there's enough open land
No,
there. The
I
second was
I
within
I,
Millennium
I
Park.
think I'd grab a Gatorade bottle
You
and
grab a Gatorade.
Oh, is it with
and
ice
find
instead?
some place that's semi-private, or say, yeah, I'm not going to use the bathroom, but I'm going to go in there and pee in this bottle. Um,
That's an option.
yeah,
I would probably let's see, behind the buildings. There's some buildings.
yeah. If I didn't have a Gatorade, I'd duck behind a building. I'm like, sorry, this you left me no options. You know,
Jungle Cruise would be a good place.
Oh
oh,
my!
Jungle
Off
Cruise
the,
is
hold on to
also
the side of
good.
the boat.
Add to the water.
Or you just gather a whole bunch of people in line saying, hey, everyone that has to pee, hang around me. We'll all get in the same boat. And then we all just do it at the same time on the backside of the water.
The drizzle. You're out to the drizzle. Maybe we'll finally get a full water drop there. Where else would be good to go? I feel like
I would assume somewhere around the Winnie the Pooh ride, there'd
that's
be
exactly
some
what I
place
was
that's
thinking.
kind
I was
of
like somewhere around Tiana's is pretty
yeah.
quiet.
Somewhere in the queue of Rise of the Resistance.
Somewhere in there, some.
Yeah. Because there's a lot of back and forth and go walking through that cave area that you could just have someone say, hey, hold up a bit.
What else would be a good area? Um, the parking structure usually empty.
Yeah.
You
So I
just
guess it depends on how bad you have to go. You know, can you hold it for an hour? Or are you someone that's in the park that waits until, I have like 30 seconds before I'm going to burst? And,
well, God forbid you ate lettuce at the park too.
ooh, that'd be bad. Yeah.
then you got a double whammy. But I guess it's just as liquidy and watery at that point.
Ah!
You're embarrassing your wife, Alex.
Oh my gosh.
He's like, why is he talking about this stuff on a podcast?
None of these options are female friendly, by the way.
That
You're
is
not-
true.
You're popping a
There's
squat
very
somewhere.
few female-friendly options in this center. They would have to roll out some porta potties.
That honestly is the best option. They have to get like some fancy porta potties on wheels.
There
I got
are
a
transporter potties.
I got a great non-female friendly story that happened with me and my wife driving from Vegas to LA. But I don't know if I should say
It's a
this.
3.5 hour drive. What did
Yeah.
you do?
Well, I guess I'm telling the story. We pulled over to the side of the road, and she ran out behind a cactus or something, and thought that she was completely isolated. But she didn't realize that where we stopped, the road had kind of came around a turn, so everyone coming up behind us had a complete view. And And she didn't realize that she definitely was, the view was obstructed from where we parked to where she was, but not the rest of the highway. And we had truckers honking and stuff. And of course, she ran out there too quick and didn't grab toilet paper or anything like that. And so we one of the kids had to run out with some tissues for her. But
Oh
yeah,
my.
you just go.
yeah,
You know you
it's
gotta go.
it's it's weird that there's it's an embarrassing thing, but everyone has to use the restroom, and sometimes it's an emergency.
And
Yeah.
sometimes
So
the restrooms at Disneyland aren't working.
yeah, and so the cast member won't let you in, but I bet you if you say, "Hey, it's either that or I'm doing it right here,"
Right
that
in
they'll
front of
okay,
you.
we'll let one guy in,
I
but
think
don't
I'm
flush,
that's what I'm saying. I don't think it was that big of a scare or a problem.
Yeah,
Otherwise, I'm pretty sure people would have just like gone up in arms.
yeah, it would have been all over social media, and
Yeah,
it was kind of on social media.
yeah, but you would have
It
seen
made the
people
it
like
made the
peeing
nightly
outside of
news
the
in
building
L.A.
somewhere.
What was that?
Now, they would have put people peeing on the side of the building or something.
Yeah,
Somebody would have caught it. There's way too many cameras with people with phones to have not caught it.
yeah,
So I don't think anything bad happened like that. I
yeah.
just
All I
think
saw
because
was a couple shots on social media of cast members blocking the
yeah,
bathrooms,
that's
and that's
basically what I saw too. So I don't. I guess it wasn't that bad.
so not necessarily a complete emergency for emergency meetings.
I mean, it was just a funny thing. It's something you don't think would happen to Disney.
No,
Just
and
prepare.
but this is something that people don't think of very often. Regardless where you are in the world, if you didn't have access to go use the restroom, what is your plan B? Um,
You should always carry one of those. Have you seen those things that they use at the beach to change? It's like a little
oh
tent
yeah, a
that
little
pops up.
privacy thing. So
It's
that
like a little tent that like is flat, but it pops
yeah,
open and you can get in it.
Okay,
are
so
those
that's
allowed in the
definition.
park?
Do
The
you
little
keep it in your
privacy
car?
tent.
You can fold it. They fold like tiny and put them in a
Yeah,
bag.
yeah.
Yeah, this was an interesting one because, like you said, right? Like even running to McDonald's wouldn't have been a possible option in this case. So
Mm-mm.
No, and a
this is
lot
a
of
rough
times
one.
that distance is too far. Depending on how bad you have to go, you're not going to run all the way to McDonald's.
I'm
In
telling
fact,
you,
sometimes if you really have to go bad, running does not help.
Autopia would have been the perfect area. Look at this. There's so much greenery out there.
No,
Well, that
Topia.
would probably be the only time I'd want to ride a Utopia.
Just pull up to the side.
Yeah.
Say, look, there's plenty of
Well,
space. There's not-
that's the thing. I completely forgot about the Finding Nemo ride. That probably has like what the second or third most amount of water in the whole park.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean you're in there for 16 minutes as well. You would just think that Disney would have a way to repressurize themselves quickly, which I
Well,
feel like they did.
so even if there's no emergency, if you're on that ride and your little kid all of a sudden has to go, what is the contingency for that?
There isn't one in that one. It's a 16-minute ride.
16-minute ride and you're locked into that ride vehicle.
That's
Um,
it. You gotta
I'm
pay it now.
wondering if
Fortunately, it's
there's
not pressurized, so you could pop the latch if
yeah,
you
because it
need
never
to.
truly goes underwater. Yeah,
Yeah.
but you'd think maybe does a cast member ride with each vehicle?
Yeah, there's one. They're
That's what I
standing up
thought.
in the middle.
I bet you they have some sort of some sanitizing supplies on the thing to maybe include a emergency
Yeah,
water bottle.
I was gonna say, make sure you hit the like and subscribe because now I want to go find all the accidents that have happened around the parks.
So we're going to be in the park in 2 weeks.
Something like that, 2, 3
Should
weeks.
we interview cast members
Where to pee?
about this? If someone really had to relieve themselves during this ride, what's the plan? Is it just you know
You
you're going to
know,
have to wet yourself?
you should ask them which bathroom do they first start closing, so you kind of know like which way do
Ooh,
they
yeah, that
close.
would be a cool thing to know. Is like if
Like
we're at 20% water pressure capacity, what closes first and
yeah,
what stays open last?
yeah,
You know,
because
I
then
maybe
would
we get
think
to
you would think they
100%.
do it. They would start at the back and work their way forward. The videos that I saw, they had the bathroom on the right side of the castle or on the
Mhm.
east side of the castle closed, and I saw the bathroom by Jungle Cruise closed.
Yeah, I thought I saw the one in Adventureland.
Yeah,
That's
that's
the
the
one I
Jungle
think
Cruise one.
I recognized. The oh no, also the one on the other side of what's that? Pinocchio's ride. Just as you're leaving Fantasyland,
Oh,
headed toward.
by the restaurant?
Yeah, yeah,
I did not see that video.
yeah. I think that's the
Playing
one I
from Sean's
recognize.
S25 Ultra.
Not
All right,
sure
folks.
why
Well,
my.
that's it. That's it for our emergency episode. Hopefully you weren't caught in it. If you were, let us know what you did in the comment section down below.
How long was it?
How long did it actually take? And hit the subscribe button, and we'll see you all on the next one.
Bye,
everybody.
everyone.